All right, here we go. Good morning, everyone. We're live from Fly on the Wall Productions on an absolutely stellar day. It is going to be just beautiful out there today. Yeah, isn't it amazing?
It's incredible. And then, but
It's-
wait a minute, because then you look into next week and it's the
It's
60s.
60s, yeah.
Right.
I know. 20-degree difference.
It's like, okay, so that stone wall that
Yeah.
needs building, I guess we'll wait until
It's
next
gonna wait
week
a
when
little
it's-
bit longer.
It's
It's
unbelievable.
unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. Raylene, we got a lot to get to. We of course, Tom Lozon in the house this morning. We try to get him in here every Wednesday. We have to pay him a lot of money.
I know. It's, the price is going up.
Imagine.
I know it is. Well, inflation. It's inflation. But to get Tom in here is, it's $50 a
Yeah.
whack. So
That's a pretty good deal.
it is a good deal. It is, but just don't tell him that. We have a lot going on. Lots to holy black fly! Wow,
I know.
this past weekend we tried to go kayaking
It was,
over in Groton.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God! It was just like, do I use my hands on the paddle or do I just swat away black flies constantly?
I'm not sure if
Oh,
so.
crap.
What is it? Who is the black fly expert? Is it the warmer weather that we've had recently, where the black flies are all
I think so.
throwing the party early?
Well, I think there's one black fly, and
There's
what
one
he
black
what he does, Tom, is he blows the whistle, and then he says, "Everybody go," and they all get out of their nest and they fly around.
That's
they
what it feels like.
They were brutal up at the pond.
Oh,
I mean, they were
unbelievable.
Yeah, we were up there, doing some work this weekend, and
I had
the outside work didn't last very long.
I was trying to do outside work. I was trying to do some yard work and stuff, and I actually had to go in and get my hairnet. And I have a hairnet covering, and I'm wearing this, my underwear, and Crocs, and I'm out in the yard.
Can't
and
unsee
Sherilyn's
that.
like,
Thank you very much.
Sherilyn's like,
You really
look
can't. I've
absolutely-
witnessed it. It was
Oh,
horrible.
Jesus.
I was driving by and pulled in his dooryard, and that's literally, he had this big ass sombrero on, these poop boots.
It's just a
his
wide brim
underwear
hat, Tom.
and no
it's not in a
shirt.
sombrero. It's just a wide brim hat. I got the bug net
I
over
thought
that.
he was just telling a story. You mean
No.
it's true.
This is true.
All right, now I really can't unsee that.
It was
God.
something else.
Crocs
I
underwear,
had
the hair.
nightmares
I'm just
for
gonna
a
have. I'm
year.
gonna have nightmares just knowing that
I had
outfit
nightmares
exists.
for a year.
Holy mackerel!
Speaking of black flies, we have the annual Adamant Black Fly Festival coming up this weekend.
What do you mean? It was last weekend. They were
Last
on
weekend?
Full force.
No, it's this
I know
weekend.
it is this weekend.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
coming.
but it's going to be Friday is going to be a little rainy, and then the temperatures are dropping. So
Yes.
I don't know. The black flies may
Go
not
away.
make an appearance when the temperature. I mean, wherever they're going to be brutal today. I mean, go by any body of water,
Sure.
woods, and they're
Sure.
going to be. They're going to be out in force partying.
85 degrees
Yeah.
today, and sunny. 54 and stars are out tonight, and then 89 tomorrow and sunny. Tom, with temperatures like this,
Yes.
I see the coat you're wearing. You got the nice shirt. You're always well dressed. Salvador and Babic.
Well, I try to look professional.
Who's in charge over there at Salvador?
Who is in
and Babic?
charge?
Yeah, who makes the dress code?
Rita, Sanders, and I are by virtue of being the old guy, I'm the senior partner.
Okay.
And Rita and I are the active partners in the firm.
So you guys set the bar for the dress code during the summer.
We've never really had to set a dress code. I mean, I can always count on people looking professional and neat and
So
looking the part. So
Tom,
no,
can
we don't
you-
have a formal.
can we
dress code.
loosen things up a little bit here with the temperatures? Can we do the t-shirts? Does it have to be a coat like this?
I've
Is it-
seen him in a
t-shirt?
t-shirt.
yeah,
I wear it.
over
I mean,
at
to
Salvador
work.
Babic. Yeah.
No.
I'm
No.
talking Hawaiian shirts and flip flops. Why
Hawaiian
not, Tom?
shirt would be okay.
All right.
That would be fun.
Is the air conditioner working over there at Salvador and Babic?
Is it? Last time I checked.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure everyone's comfortable.
we have a great staff, and we appreciate them very much. So we do our best to make things comfortable for
Comfy.
them. But
Right.
no, I'm afraid I'd have to draw the line at t-shirts.
All right. And flip flops is totally out.
No, flip flops would be fine.
Okay.
Keep your feet under your desk. Don't want to Well, I mean, there are some folk. I mean, I have ugly toes. I have toes like an ape. So
Yeah. It wouldn't be good. As
no,
long
not
as you-
for me.
just
Wouldn't be a good look.
Get the job done, though. As long as you do your job and you perform well, that's the most important thing.
Well, that's the most important thing in anything.
Yeah,
JD is
right.
to, give 110% every day. Just, maybe not every day. I mean, we all have days when we're off
Sure.
and we're not performing.
I
as
never
well
do.
As we should.
JD is more than others.
I never do.
I have a few. Yeah, I've had my share of off days.
Yesterday, Raylene and I popped up to one of the homes that's being shown, and they're going to have an open house this coming Saturday.
Nice.
Fecto Homes, the Beckley Hill Meadows up there, which is just I don't know if you've driven up
They
there.
do.
and seen-
Yeah,
oh my God,
they've done a great job, and I only wish they could do it 4 times as fast because we all know that we need the housing. It's an incredible, I've never seen anything like it.
I mean, this
And we
home-
don't have. I mean, we've got the project over in Montpelier, but I'm not aware that we have any significant number of housing units planned, and that obviously concerns me because permitting alone can take. Lightning speed, 6 months, and more often than not, 6 to 9.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, we
got a lot of work to do.
They're building fast up there. Fecto Homes is.
they do.
And
They've got a.
They're
they've
doing
got
a hell
great-
of a job.
They've got a great crew and just a great product. I mean,
Oh.
the
Tom,
the
I
end
couldn't
result.
believe what we saw yesterday. It was unbelievable. These homes.
You want to live there, don't you?
Oh,
Yes, he does. He really does.
I was legit. I was fantasizing about this particular home, but the open house is this coming Saturday.
Nice.
It's at Peyton Lane, which is right up there in Beckley Hill Meadows.
Right, 29 Peyton.
29. You can't miss it because there'll be signs everywhere for the open house, but it's from 11 to 2. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, covered front porch, walkout basement. It was just beautiful what they're doing up there, and no condo fees. This is not a condo thing.
Right.
This is a home, and it's beautiful. And,
Nice.
we appreciate them so much. What else do we have, Raylene? Before we
Ladies'
dive
Day.
in. Oh, that's right.
Hello.
It's Wednesday.
Oh.
Ladies' Day
Yeah, Vermont Quick
for
Food.
Vermont Quick Food.
Yeah, go
You
over
go
there.
there?
The boys will service you right up.
Then they do a great job.
They'll lube you right up, ladies.
Yeah,
Jeez.
give you a flower.
Yeah,
Car
you,
wash.
Okay.
you get a car wash.
Moving right.
You get a car wash.
flower.
You get a flower, and you'll probably get a real nice smile from one of the boys.
You do.
Craig and
Always.
just-
They're a great group. over
Jacob
there.
and Craig and just all of them. There's just
and they
a
take good care of you.
great team.
And they do lots of stuff over there. Oil changes,
brakes, struts.
yeah, all
tire
that stuff,
changeovers.
bearings, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, not just oil
So,
changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get over there.
Yeah, Tom, you ought to you bring your '72 Chevy Chevette in there and have that.
My 72 Chevette.
And by the way,
I could.
The Mountaineers are getting ready to kick off their season on, I think, Sunday the 11th will be
Nice.
their first home game up at the ballpark in Montpelier, Recreation Park there. Brian Gallagher, the general
What a
manager.
job he does.
He's going to come on the
Man.
air with us. So
Nice.
he'll be on with us, I think, on Friday the 9th.
Yeah, that's
Friday
some
the
good
9th.
baseball. It really is.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a
Yeah.
great time. But Brian and I were chatting. I'm glad to have him on. And
And then
Lori-
it's the last day for two things: the Costa glasses at Berlin Optical Expression. If you go up there, you mention Aired Out, you get 35% off.
Wow.
So
If you look at
today's
your
the
screen-
last day for that.
look at your
And,
screen right now, and I'm
If you
showing
say
you the
it 3
brochure.
times, it's free.
Yeah, and they've had some people go up and
Yesterday,
and
right?
partake in that. So
Nice.
they're super excited. And today's the final day of that. And then it's also the final day for the kayak raffle
Oh,
through
yeah.
the Vermont Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
So if you haven't got a ticket, get it now because the drawing is tomorrow.
Yeah, get on it.
Right,
I think-
centralvt.com. Go up to Central Vermont Chamber of Commerce.
Yep.
Or go to Arnell Archery.
Yep, and you can see the kayak right there. I've got my ticket right here.
Yeah.
Right here. $20. And there's only 150 of them sold. And Tom's already said that whatever's remaining, he's just going to buy them all up.
Oh, jeez.
And then he's going to give the
The
kayak.
kayak guarantee.
He's right. But isn't it great that? And listen, here's the thing. if you buy a ticket or a couple of tickets and you don't win this kayak, you're supporting the Central Vermont Chamber of Commerce, which
right.
frankly kicks ass.
That's right.
They do so much for our community, promoting businesses, and I mean, they just go above and beyond. Even if you're not a member of the Chamber of Commerce, they love everyone. They support everyone. Local biz is where it's at, Tom.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Right, and keep your eyes
Word.
on the page for the upcoming mixer at Bulldog.
Yes, the Bulldog Mixer is on June 21st. I think we're going to be there. They're also one of our sponsors, Bulldog. So,
Great people.
yeah, wonderful people. So, Tom, what the hell happened last night?
What happened?
Well, yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, City Council.
Let's see. Well, I
Wait,
got the agenda right here. I mean,
and I want to talk about what's going on with the Times Argus.
Well,
What happened this
well,
morning?
let's see. Well, so Carol Dawes got a raise.
Yes.
She asked for a 4% raise. Inflation last year was 8.26, so didn't feel quite right about. I mean, I'd like to figure out a way to get Carol some sort of merit pay for the job that she did during the pandemic.
Yeah.
You know, she really did a great job, and I don't know what we're going to do without it. It scares the hell out of me when she is planning on leaving office in 2024.
Retiring.
And, yeah.
And buying an island in the Caribbean. That's what I heard.
No, I think she keeps contributing on some level. Carol's, and listen, I'll support her in whatever she does. But so she had asked for 4, observing that inflation last year was 8.26. I offered a 6% raise, and that was passed unanimously with very, very little discussion. And obviously that. Carol's someone with a lot of experience. I mean, she, even in the legislature and among other Vermont clerks and treasurers, I mean, she's kind of, the go-to person all the time for testimony. So it'll be interesting to see who steps up, wanting to run to replace her. And, Carol's always kept politics. She's kept her office very objective, and to me that is, I don't care if you're we've got to keep the politics out of the clerk's office, because the clerk is charged primarily with running objective elections. And Carol has done such an incredible job, so hopefully someone good steps up to replace her. But boy, we're gonna lose
shoes
a
to
ton
fill.
of institutional knowledge. It's going to be,
No doubt.
and Carol's going to help. I mean, Carol loves that office. She loves the city. She's not going to walk away, close the door at 5 o'clock, and never come back.
Right.
I'm not at all concerned about. We'll work something out for a transition period, and Carol's just a class act. So it's just the unknown. That's obviously what always concerns us. Speaking of the unknown, we talked about the ending of the motel program at the state level. That I don't know if you saw the headlines. It's a little confusing. I wish we could get
Headlines in the Times Argus.
Times Argus
this
headlines.
morning?
Yeah, I mean the lead article. It was not what was contained in that article, and I'm not saying that anything was written. I'm not judging. I'm just observing.
Okay.
Because I read the article. Obviously, the headline is that the city has offered the BOR to the state, and we all knew we were going to. We had that discussion at council. When we had the discussion at council, we obviously talked about staffing levels, safety. We talked about someone being responsible for any resulting damages, any increase in costs. That was important to the council. What we didn't talk about, what never came up, was a base rental rate, was whether there would even be one. So I was a little surprised when I got the memo that the manager sent to Chris Winters from the state on Friday. And I was a little surprised when the memo said, and there's a base rental rate of $29,000 per day. Doing the quick math, JD, $900,000 a month, $2.7 million over 3 months. So I asked about that last night at the council meeting, and I said, well, where did we come up with this rental rate? And the question was answered. There's a lot in the memo. So I just questioned the base rate. I said, well, don't you think that was germane to the conversation? You know, we had this conversation at the council, and a base rental rate was never proposed or discussed. So I said, well, what was that meant to be? Is that a guideline? Is that a springboard for future discussions? In other words, the state comes back to the city and says, look, you know, there are certain things that I won't bend on. You know, safety and security. Responsibility for any resulting damages, making sure that there are adequate restroom and shower facilities, making sure that people are well cared for. There's supervision. You know, those are things that none of us are going to bend on. You know, there are certain deal breakers.
Shower
But like I
facilities.
said, we never discussed any base rental rate. So last night I asked a question. I said, well, is that base rental rate, is that a hard line in the sand, or is that a springboard? You know, is that a launching point for discussions? State may come back and say, okay, yes to all of these conditions, but look, folks, we've got 50 people using this facility, and we can't justify a $29,000 a day rate. We can offer you X. And I'd certainly be, and I was assured by both the mayor and
how is that number justified?
I believe it was. I believe the answer was that they took the current number of people participating in the state program. They assumed that all of those people, 300 and whatever, 400 people, would all be using the BOR, which I believe is incredibly unlikely. And then they took I believe the current rate that the state is paying per room, multiplied it by 50%, and did the math. But the point, JD, is that last night I asked the question, and the reason I asked the question is because let's assume, first of all, the state's not going to say yes to $29,000 a day. I would be shocked.
Me too.
But if they did,
that's 2.7,
$2.6 million
for 90 days.
But it's more importantly to me, JD, the city can't be out of pocket. The manager has said repeatedly and accurately, we are not a social service provider. We don't have the staff, we don't have the means, we don't have the expertise. That's not what we do. We plow streets and provide. That's not our wheelhouse. The manager is 100% correct when he says, we are not a social service provider, and I absolutely, agree with that statement. But my concern, if the state, like I said, I don't believe they're going to say yes. But if the state did say yes, that's $2.7 million. Our cost is not $2.7 million, not even close. Not 1/10 of that amount. My concern is that, okay, that's $2.7 million that doesn't go to the Good Samaritan Haven. There are other folks who are doing better work than we're doing, and again, not a slap at the city, but if we have finite resources, Jane.
And they're doing long-term
the
work.
legislature has shown that. The governor has shown that. I realize there's a ton of people standing up on their soapboxes, and they're loving to toss the blame around. Why don't we blame President Biden? Can we add him in there? Because these were federal funds. Why don't we blame the United States Congress? Everybody's looking for someone to blame. And I don't think it's helpful. I think this whole discussion around, the governor's veto, which I believe was absolutely appropriate. The federal government dumped $5 trillion into the economy. We haven't burned that money off yet. Our economy just doesn't burn $5 trillion off in 2 years. We are headed for a recession, and you've got to plan accordingly. So, we're taking, this was a federal program. All states were given funds. The state spent the money on the motel program, knowing full well that this program wasn't going to wasn't going to last forever. And now all of a sudden, because the state is ending a program that they really had no control over, people expect it to continue, and we just don't have those kinds of resources. So it bothers me a little that it's becoming political. It's becoming less about trying to triage and help as many people as we can. And yeah, so that's really frustrating to me because yeah.
What I keep hearing, and I'm sure you do too. I know Raylene has, is folks responding to this by saying, "This is crazy. There are so many jobs out there. There's so many opportunities for folks to work."
It's very complicated, JD. There are citizens who are experiencing homelessness who, because of certain conditions, would have a difficult time holding a job consistently. And that's just, the fact of the matter. There are people who have medical conditions. There are people who have all kinds of
Mental
challenges.
health, addiction,
Exactly.
all kinds
I mean,
of
there's
things.
all kinds of challenges. So that's what makes the problem so challenging. There is no one size fits all. So, and everyone wants to help, and everyone has an opinion, but unfortunately, I've just listened to more speeches than I have proposed solutions, and I'm just, I'm just getting, I'm getting a little frustrated by that. When when we first started discussing this back in April, we had numbers published, and they were all over the place. Like how many people were even participating in the program, and again, that's what I think that adds a little bit to the anxiety. We don't know. So today is the 31st. Today is the first phase of folks will be exited today, and we don't know what tomorrow looks like. We've heard, the gentleman that was on last week, he was great.
Dan Mullen.
Yeah, Dan.
From Enough Ministries.
Yeah, because he's been doing this, that's the folks that I like to hear from. But the anxiety that our anxiety level, everyone's anxiety level, is that we don't know what the problem looks like. If someone could just give us a number and say, well, it's 50, it's 100, it's 12, then it would be easier to plan. Right now,
Right, there's
we're having to
386, and you don't know what's happening with them.
yeah,
Some
we're
might
having to
go
plan
back.
for the worst.
Yeah.
That's what we have to do. We have to hope for the best, but plan for the worst. So
It seems like we're on we're in the dark on a train that's going 100 miles an hour, and we need to.
I don't know that it's going 100 miles an hour. I don't know that it's going 10.
That's how I feel.
I don't know what.
That's how I feel.
We have to be prepared, to react to challenges quickly. That's the most important thing, because like we've experienced a number of different times.
There's a lot of
in the
momentum
city.
here, though, Tom.
I'm sorry?
There's a lot of momentum here.
A lot of momentum. in
Momentum.
terms of-
We're on a train. And we need to slow it down and eventually try to turn this thing around.
We need to assess. We need to assess the resources, and again, we need first to define the problem, and we can't define the problem. The challenge is going to define itself. We will have, I don't know what the number is, and I don't know what the needed resources are going to be. No one does, and that adds to the anxiety, and, myself included. Sometimes it's easy to go off a little bit when you're anxious and you just want to help. But again, the, politicizing of it is disappointing. It's really disappointing to me.
Well,
The fact that
it's a time waster. We're not.
It's just dumb. Okay, 24 will be here soon enough. You'll have your issues, and you can stand on your soapbox then.
Right.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not helpful. I don't find it helpful when people start blaming and if you want to blame everybody.
Yeah.
Blame everybody. Because we all knew.
Right, what
did
was
it
gonna
take
happen.
a rocket scientist to figure out that we had a finite amount of money from the federal government
And time.
We watched the legislature.
Time and money.
They convened and discussed the issue all through. It's not anyone's fault, JD. You can't manufacture money.
Yeah.
If we had a magic wand, we could build 400 housing units. In the city and around the city and in Montpelier
Right.
and in Stowe, and we could build 400 housing units and give them away for free, and There, problem solved. But we don't. We will always have more problems than we have resources, and that's what governing is about. Governing is about prioritizing and recognizing what you can and can't do. You only have so many resources, JD, and that's so it's frustrating on some levels, but we just need to keep the conversation on point. We need to prevent it from becoming political. And, most importantly, I get the most valuable information from folks like Dan, folks like Rick, folks like Erica. They're the folks who provide me. And then as you get higher up in the food chain for elected office, that's when the information,
Right.
it just becomes political and everybody blaming everybody. And
What's the rest of the council kind of saying? What's the sentiment here?
It's around the board. I mean, there are folks who are advocating for camping, for allowing camping in the city. I would be a hard no on that. We do not. I understand that there are campsites that exist within the city. I'm certainly not suggesting that we go hunting and we start,
right.
We have to, but I think the manager has said it accurately. We don't have the facilities. It can quickly become a public health issue. And if you look at the land that the city has, it all has specific use. So now if you're allowing camping, you're creating uses that may very well conflict. One of the questions I have is, okay, if the city says, hey, you can camp, what is our liability?
Yeah.
If we are literally inviting people here, and we know that while there are many, many good people who currently are experiencing homelessness, we also know that there are folks who are experiencing significant challenges. We also know that there are folks, quite frankly, that you don't want in your community. They are not only challenged, they're not always good people. That is few and far between, but we know that. So if all of a sudden you just issue an invitation to everyone and someone is a victim, what is the liability to the city? We created it. We allowed it. So what is our liability? And of course, as a sitting councilor, I've got to be concerned about that. Just as the manager, in developing that $29,000 price tag, he said, well, yeah, it's a springboard. It's a negotiating point. But I'm considering the worst case scenario risk to the city.
Sure.
Okay, great. But let's consider all of the risks, including liability. I mean, the American Civil Liberties Union has already filed a lawsuit seeking an injunction to try to prevent the release of folks today.
Right.
So, hey, we already know that you can end up in a courtroom, and I don't want to see the city of Barre end up in a courtroom. And most importantly, JD, there are no facilities. There's nowhere in the city where you can turn a tap and get some water.
Yeah.
In camp. There's nowhere where you can plug your phone in so you don't miss an appointment. And so that's my concern. We are not a social service provider, and we are not a campground.
Reading
it's not
from
what we do.
the Times-Argus this morning, the toilets, 15 in all, would cost $8,500 and be
Correct.
placed at the BOR and at some downtown locations.
Yes.
The shower trailers would cost $68,000 for 3 months and would be similarly located.
Correct.
Though the BOR has showers, our city manager said that those in the Spalding High School locker rooms would be off limits, as would the locker rooms in the nearby auditorium.
Correct.
Just had a question.
Well, because there's just not enough, JD. And again, the manager is planning for the worst case scenario, 400 occupants. I doubt very much that would be the case. But there's not that many showers in the locker room. You can't have 400 people competing for them. And by the way, while people are showering, because the restroom facilities are also located within the locker room. Okay, so when people are showering, are we letting other people? So it just became a bit of a challenge, And again, if this is something that the
$17,000 in ice makers. I mean,
Yeah.
wow! I'm just reading here. We just had a comment from Josh saying, "What are your top priorities?" And not to be too repetitive here, but I think you've kind of spelled it out a little bit.
Well, I mean, I hope I have. I mean, I've been consistent. The city we are not a social service provider. The city of Barrie is not, and we shouldn't try to be. We'll screw it up. And I think the manager's been pretty clear on that point, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We are not a campground. We don't have there is no electricity. Even the areas, there was some talk last night about the cow pasture, and I don't know if either of you have ever been up there, but it's not. A lot of it is very steep and wooded. There's not in the meadow. If you're in the meadow, there could be some camping opportunities, but there are several places where, in the spot where you could possibly camp, even though no running water, no restroom facilities, no showers, no electricity.
Exactly.
But you could, it's level enough to where, if you pitch a tent and now the recreation trails are going right through it. So it's just not.
And it would have to be well policed.
I don't
guessing,
see it
too, right, Tom?
Well, it would. Again, you have to walk. I suppose you could take an ATV, which we don't have, by the way, in the city. We don't have an ATV. We have other vehicles, but we don't have an ATV. I suppose law enforcement or our paramedics or first responders could take an ATV up there if we had one. But it's not a there are places where you can't get to the place quickly if someone needs some help. So yeah.
Well, and I think you kind of drove that home last night. One of your main priorities is the safety of everyone, the city as a whole, whether you're homeless or not.
Right. And stay in your lane. Recognize sometimes it's hard.
Yes.
It's hard to
stay in your lane.
To say
it's hard to stay in
we
your
don't
lane.
have the ability to do this. We're not
right.
We're not good at it.
Well,
I can't do this. And that's really hard and frustrating to say, but
well, a lot of people have a lot of
you can't do it
opinions
poorly.
and opinions and ideas.
And
but
and
we need,
some of them are good. But when they start attacking the legislature, I could lay it at the feet of the legislature and say, okay, you're sitting around until the 20th of June.
Right.
Why aren't you meeting right now? Just let them do their job, and so
Yeah.
so I'm trying. Again, I don't find the political part of it particularly helpful.
Yeah.
Go make yourself better on somebody else's back. Why don't you make yourself better by accomplishing something instead of just running other people down? Whether it's, whether you're trying to run down, our representatives or our governor, just stop.
You are such a leader, Tom, and you sound no.
I don't know. I want to follow me.
I'm not being.
Yeah, the
funny.
lemmings.
I'm not being funny here. I'm serious.
No, I don't know. I'm a problem solver. I
You're
look
a-
at things.
you're a
I
leader.
like data. When I went to the first meeting, I was mentioning earlier, the numbers were all over the board. 400, 200, 100, 300, 500. Just like the budgets are all over, 100 million, 12.5 million, 50 cents.
Yeah.
Let's define the problem and then affect a solution. We've got some really, really dedicated, hard-working people.
Yeah.
And people that are trusted. People trust Rick. They do. We have
Rick,
so many.
We should say Rick DeAngelis.
Oh, sorry.
From the Good Samaritan.
And Erica Real. There are people who are trusted, because they've been doing this long enough. Someone like you or I, we're likely not going to be as effective with someone who is experiencing homelessness as Erica Real is going to.
Yeah.
Because she has a reputation that precedes her. So we've got to listen a bit to those folks. And I don't hear any of them getting all political with it.
Yeah.
You know, correctly. They're focusing on the issue, and I may not always agree with them, but I never doubt their sincerity. That they are truly trying to help.
Sure.
So the rest of us, we need to do what government does at our level.
Yeah.
And at our level, you keep your opinions to yourself, listen to the experts, and provide resources. Provide the resources that you can.
Yep.
That's how I view my job. I'm just a resource provider.
2 hours ago, Raylene posted up on Facebook the link to and I've got it on the screen right now, to the WCAX story that Vermont Legal Aid sues to keep homeless hotel program from closing. Have you had a chance to have a gander at any of this?
Have not.
Okay.
So we'll see if we
it's-
get an update from the manager. I mean, I'll check in with him. I'm going to check in with him on occasion, and check in with the police chief and with the fire chief, and just check in over the next few days.
Right, and the next few days are going to be, they may be tough, and we may see things that are happening because the state can't make this happen overnight. Nothing is going to be available come June 1st, come tomorrow.
It's a helpless feeling, to be honest with you. I don't like it.
Governor says, that Vermont cannot fund the hotel program on its own.
No kidding.
And that those who use the program can't access housing, substance use, employment, and mental health services.
Correct.
So Legal Aid yesterday filed a class action lawsuit against the state of Vermont to try to keep the emergency hotel program from
Last
closing.
night we did learn
What a
from
mess.
Rick that a couple of the hotels are extending 15 days. I think he said they're giving a little extension,
Yeah.
a couple of the hotels.
But, I think we'll, some of this issue, and people get angry when people say this, but it's a fact. Some of this issue will self-resolve. There are folks who do have places to stay. It may not be ideal. We heard a little bit about that last night as well. Obviously,
we've
not
talked
all
about
of
that.
it is going to self-resolve. And as I said, the challenge, it's very different, but it's the feeling is the same. Years ago, during my service as mayor, the city flooded twice. There was no worse feeling than watching the river rise consistently, knowing it was going to breach its banks, knowing it was going to flood our downtown, but we had no idea how bad it was going to be.
Right.
If
And that May flood was-
and you're looking at the weather reports, well, the rain might stop, it might not.
Yeah.
We don't know.
That May flood was almost worse than Irene.
There's that feeling when you know that there's a crisis in front of you. You just don't know the severity of the crisis, and that's what I think people are experiencing a little bit now. So what's important to me going forward, I want to make sure we get good information. I want to make sure that people are treated humanely. We do have to draw the line in terms of sheltering outdoors. We are not a campground. We don't have the facilities for it. It wouldn't be safe. It wouldn't be sanitary. And I understand people get up on their soapbox and they may have a different opinion. That just happens to be mine.
Sure.
So it's just important that we stay tuned into the data and as I said, treat people as humanely and compassionately as we can. And I'm not interested in ordinances that are going to direct our first responders to do this or do that or do the other thing. I trust them. I have absolute faith in Chiefs Vale and Cushman. I've got absolute faith in I am absolutely assured and feel assured that they're going to be as compassionate as they can.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. It's going to be, but let's stop the politics. It doesn't help. 2024 is just around the corner. Believe me, we can all, we'll all have time to go crazy and lose our shit. So.
Yeah.
Right. What else did you guys do?
That was about it. It was kind of a quick meeting. I did the entire council saying happy birthday to me. It was my birthday yesterday. So thank you
Birthday
for
was yesterday?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm, 90 in Tom years. So the entire council saying that was awfully nice of them.
It was nice of
yeah.
them.
And because we started at 5, I'd like to start future council meetings at 6. So I made that proposal.
Yeah,
last
that would
night
be
as well.
awesome.
Yeah, it really, because we covered some ground. We had some interviews. Some very fine volunteers came in, introduced themselves to the council, and we made those appointments. So, we covered a lot of ground last night, and we were out by 7:30. It wasn't bad. So normally it would have been like 9:30, 10 o'clock. And sometimes at the council, it's hard. When a meeting goes to 10 p.m. and you're still making decisions, that can be hard. Sometimes, you're at the end of your rope. For those of us, I get up early and,
Right.
I'm going by 6 a.m. So, by 10, you've been doing it for 16 hours and you may not be as patient as you'd like.
Hangry.
No, not angry, just...
No, hangry.
Yeah.
Just want to be in your comfy clothes.
No,
and
you usually get a snack. It's not a hunger thing. It's just you've been
had enough.
You've been on. I mean, everyone at the council. Even the manager. I mean, he's been at it. At 10 p.m. sometimes you don't always have the most productive discussions. So.
Right, because you just want it over with.
Right.
Yeah. So that's about that. So that's what we got going on.
Let's tip our hat and say thank you so much to the Barrie Area Veterans Council and everyone else.
Absolutely.
Including, and maybe most importantly, all of those that showed up to watch the parade and stand and listen to the ceremony afterwards.
Yeah.
The weather was perfect. It was just a great Memorial Day parade.
It's always moving, and they do. We see that. We see the flags that they put up along Main Street, which are beautiful, by the way. Thank you so much. But what you really don't see is the good work that they do, that Chuck Barney and
Ron Tolman,
that they have done for years, and I certainly saw that. On occasion, Ron would call me and he'd say, Mayor, I need this, or I need this, or I've got a veteran in crisis. Can you help with this? And, Ron was always there 24/7, 365 to help another vet in crisis.
Oh, yeah.
They all are, but Ron in particular, quite a guy.
Yeah.
Quite a guy. They don't come any better than Ron Tolman.
I thought the mayor had some just
He did a great job.
wonderful speech. I mean,
Yep,
it was
did a
just
great job.
fantastic.
Yeah,
it was
I
great
wish,
to see city
and
council
not
there, too.
aimed at Jake, but sometimes you go to those at all of us because we all contribute, on some level. But I wish it could be like that all the time. When
Me
people,
Sure.
when it's not about politics and hot shots and cheap shots.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're all on. That's what I love most
We're all
about
just
those
trying.
memorial celebrations is in that moment in time, we're all on the same page.
Sure.
And yeah. So
What else do we have?
we're not meeting next Tuesday. I'll still come in and just talk about the black flies.
Right.
Of course.
You never know. Did you see that we went in a hot air balloon
Yes,
on Saturday?
That was incredible. You had the
It's amazing.
opportunity to ditch
Incredible.
him
You're not.
at
I
a couple
know.
thousand feet.
I know.
And,
And
what
and
happened?
he's still here.
You wimped out.
You could.
I know. He's
Heave-hoed
still
right
here.
over the edge. I know.
Yeah.
So disappointing.
But
So disappointing.
I mentioned yesterday that
But then he there wouldn't have been anybody to grab the catch line and
Yeah.
drag us back.
That's
I
right.
needed a tow.
Oh.
I had to drag him back to the. I said yesterday I would love to bungee jump. I mean, why the hell not?
From the hot air balloon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, Tom. You live once.
I'll buy the cord.
Yeah, so he'll take the rest of us down. A little weight there.
I'll buy the
I think
cord.
he'd be kind of a weight for the balloon.
Yeah.
As
All
long
of
as
a sudden,
it's
all of a
frayed.
sudden the balloon goes from 2,000 feet down to 1,000.
Oh, my God.
Aaron
was a-
probably do it with you though.
It was a fantastic weekend, and I know it's Wednesday. We're already into the middle of the week, but I
Yeah.
mean, we had the Memorial Day Classic at Thunder Road. It was just a great weekend. What's next at T Road? June 9th, the Triple Crown race is coming up, and we got
What a
some.
great job Chris and Pat have
Yeah.
done up there.
They are.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
What
amazing.
just man.
And it's more than just the new spectator area. It's more than just the lighting. It's more than just
Oh no,
what they've
it's
done
the
on the
it's the
track.
program, how they're running it. I'll tell you, Tom Curley would be
So proud.
proud of both of them. So proud of both of
Tom
them.
would probably complain about something, though.
Oh, of course he would.
Of course. But generally,
No, you know what? We say that. No, I don't think he would. He'd have a cool Tom comment.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
he'd have something to say about, about the green wall. You know, he'd have something to say about something, but he wouldn't be critical, but it would be funny as hell when he said it. I don't even know what it would be.
Tell us about the Stephen Tracy ride before I forget.
This Saturday. Let me look. I'll grab all the particulars, Mr. JD Green, who all of a sudden springs these things on me.
No, it's just it's just Raylene finds stuff so much faster than I do. God, I can't
Yeah,
believe
it's
it's
this
the
Saturday. Are you
final
going?
day of May.
Wow.
Final day of May, Tom.
May seemed like it stuck around for a while though.
Yeah, it did.
You know? I mean,
Coming up-
really, summer doesn't happen till June 1st, so.
Coming up Friday night, we have Elvis night at the Billtown Roadhouse with Mark Shelton. This is a
Dun, dun.
please
Thank you
don't
very
sing,
much.
Tom. No, please don't, please. A benefit for the Barry Area Senior Center. $200 to the best Elvis impersonator, Tom. Think about it, bud.
Not happening.
But we need to give away some of these Mark Shelton CDs right here because he's going to be there. Have you ever seen Mark Shelton perform?
I have not.
Oh my God!
Set up a little booth out there and
Oh my
Yeah.
hand
God!
them out to people.
This is amazing.
There you go. Just
Incredible.
hand them out.
Yeah.
Here. It's a beautiful day.
Oh, it's just 25 tracks. He does amazing gospel music too. It's just amazing. So we're going to give you a chance to win this CD tomorrow,
Nice.
right here on Aired Out. But we'll see you Friday at the Billtown Roadhouse. It's going to be a good time.
And then Saturday, June 3rd, is the poker run, the Stephen Tracy Memorial
Yes.
Poker Run. The start is at 2834 South Hill Road
All right.
in Williamstown.
Not at the
At,
pub?
at 9:30.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
Why do you
Okay,
even
so-
say shit like that? Now you're going to confuse people, dumbass.
Sorry, I'm
Just
sorry.
listen to what I'm saying.
Just saying it was there last year.
Good Lord.
All right.
Yeah.
2834 South Hill Road in Williamstown at 9:30.
Did
That's
you
where you're
just
going
say
to kick it up.
2834 South Hill Road? Did you just say that?
I did.
Why?
2834?
At noon, the winners will be announced. There's going to be 50-50 raffle prizes, all kinds of great things going on, barbecue. So join
All right.
in on that fun. And then on June 3rd, there's also the Family Fun Day, which we just had the young lady in here
Nice.
from Family.
Oh,
the
yes.
Family Center.
The Family Center. Yeah,
Yep,
that was
the Family Center in Montpelier.
Claire
So,
Kendall.
From 11 to 1 at the Family Center in Montpelier.
Yeah,
at
Claire Kendall was just in
383 Sherwood Drive.
Yeah.
And so join them for all kinds of great fun.
Okay, speaking of Family Fun Day, I got to get going with mine.
Tom, have a
What are you
have
going
a
to do for fun?
What am I going to do for fun? Going back to work and,
Tom, take the sport coat off, bud. Come on, 85 today. It's 85
it's
degrees,
not
Tom.
85 now.
Or in here.
Yeah. You grow used to it.
I mean, I understand.
Someone was
There's-
asking me, when we were at the
That's true,
Memorial
though.
Day remembrance yesterday, someone made the comment and they said, boy, all you guys in your dark suits, you're going to be roasting. And no, I mean, number one, you get used to it. And number two, the reason I wear a jacket, the reason why I wear a suit to the council meeting is because, it's worth the effort. It's just
I know.
how I roll. So I don't judge people who choose not to. That's just
Tom,
how I
are you saying-
roll.
are
It's
you-
how I've always rolled. It's how I'll always roll.
Are you saying you don't judge me, Tom? With
I don't
my
judge you at
Vermont
all.
Mountaineers shirt
Too much
on?
judgment in the world. You know?
Not shaven?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, the whole not shaving is kind of pushing the envelope a little bit.
He did
but,
finally at least get
I mean,
his
it's just a
hair cut.
razor, JD. It's, you know, it wouldn't hurt you.
Thanks for coming in, buddy.
Thank you. You all have a great day.
We love you, pal. Thanks, everybody. Be well.